Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I just called in on the phone and then I'll keep my video on my laptop
Okay.
if that's fine.
That is just fine.
Okay,
And
perfect.
so we're actually going to get started. As students, they'll probably end up trickling in. Also, I just want to let everybody know that this is going to be, it actually is recorded, just for the purpose of sharing with other students. So it will actually be on our student, Office of Student Engagement. Um, So, of course, my name is Dr. Alex Meredith, and today I am bringing to you guys myself as well as Miss Ya Hughes from the College of Business. We're bringing you guys one of the professional development forums on why you should engage, meaning why you should engage with visitors to campus, whether they're employers, whether they're recruiting from a graduate school. Um, what else? Well, really, any type of engagement, because that can also trickle down to your faculty members as well. And so, what I really wanted to get at is trying to change the culture here at Dell State in the sense of um, developing networks earlier before you actually graduate, right? So a lot of times students may or may not take on opportunities with internships. And those types of opportunities can really empower you for when you actually do graduate and you need to compete with other, with other graduates from other institutions. So right now I'm going to just let the panel actually introduce who they are. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do something else. I'm going to go over the session wrap up first, um, because sometimes some students might log off prematurely, and um, you might not know the next steps if you're here to if you're here for attendance for a class or some type of community service or student engagement hours, things of that nature. But one thing that I really drill down to all students is making sure that you are checking your DESU email address. If not twice a day, at least once a day, not once a week, not once a month, because there are too many opportunities that are coming into your inbox with either my name on it or it could be another office's name on it, that you can definitely take a part of, as in the forms of internships, employment. There's always special initiatives going on where industry and or administration will pull on you as the student that you are to represent us, which can also build your network. But this is specific. One opportunity that went out 2 weeks ago, where DuPont actually donated 50 Mac laptops to our graduate students within the College of Ag Science and Technology. We have roughly 92. So I was given the charge to be the messenger to send out, the Apple administrators information, where you had to be the next morning and at the time to get the computer, because it was first come, first serve. So you can only imagine what number 51 to 92 felt like opening up that email late. And then also our next professional development event, there's roughly 10 that center around professional development, alumni take. Uh, but the next one is actually geared toward everything communication. And so our information coordinator from the college, Ms. Troy Darden, she'll be with us on October 5th from 11 to 12 during your common hour and really go over communication from a professional standpoint and also how it can trickle over into a personal standpoint, but really to be of benefit to you. So please make sure that you tune in for this because it's, like I said, another awesome opportunity. Students that are here for whatever hours or all students are able to do the student survey, feedback survey at the end, to actually have your name put in the $10 drawing. The student feedback survey is open from 12 till 2. It's that small window of time. And so if you go 1 minute before 12 or 1 minute after 12:20, this is what you'll end up getting because it's closed or it is not open yet. So please be mindful of that. This is actually the QR code if you want to actually screenshot it right now, so that you actually have it after the session. I like to try to get you guys out of here by at least 11:50, if not earlier. But like I said again, it's an opportunity to enter into the drawing with the completion of being here. Your opportunity to sign in, and of course, mostly important, I want to know what you think. I want to bring stuff to you that is relevant, that you can utilize, that you can engage, and that you can take from. And so that's pretty much what the feedback from the surveys does. I'm also going to turn it over to Miss Ya Hughes because I know that she has a couple of announcements as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ms. Hughes, and I am in the College of Business. I serve as the Assistant Dean for Student and Corporate Engagement. I'm excited to be here with you, not just to share opportunities and things like that, but just to help you with your academic and professional career. But I wanted to invite you. Every year, we host what is called Deep Day. And I'm not sure whether any of you have heard of it, but Deep Day is our professional development conference for students. It stands for Delaware Executive Exchange Program. And it is where we offer opportunities to invite our corporate partners in, not only to talk about job opportunities and internships and things like that, but to give students, all Delaware State students, professional development and soft skills. So it's an opportunity for you to network, for you to engage, for you to do those things. Dr. Meredith will be sending you out that information. It's October the 14th, and he'll get that link today. So as he sends his wrap up and different things like that, you'll be able to register. We have some fun things planned. So it's an opportunity for you to be engaged, connect with professionals and things like that. But it's also an opportunity for you to hone in on your skills that you'll learn throughout your opportunity at the forums. The next one is communication. It's the week before Deep Day, so then you'll have an opportunity to communicate face to face with those partners and really begin to put yourself out there. So I look forward to seeing you. So if you come to Deep Day, make sure that you introduce yourself to me. And I am going to level the playing field here, Dr. Meredith. So the first 5 people that are in CAS that registers for Deep Day, I will put them in a drawing and they will win a $25 Amazon.
All right.
All right. So, but the only caveat is you can't just register. You got to come. Right. So, if I see you that day, the first 5 people that say that they are in College of Agriculture, Science, and Technology, then you will be in that drawing. And he's going to hold me to it.
But also, I mean, I'll be there too. But I want to stress the importance that how important Deep Day is, and it's more about the transferable skills, not necessarily just being a part of Deep Day and it's all business. No, there's things that you have to learn how to do, how to present yourself, how to effectively network, how to work a room. So there's a lot of different things that you will learn from Deep Day, whether the focus is business or not. It's still what you need to have to be an actual professional and to have companies take you serious, period.
We have a case competition every year, and last year was the year before last was our first year of opening it up to anyone that wanted to be a part of it. So you serve on a team with people from College of Business, ag, wherever, and you solve a case from a company, and the case was about diversity and inclusion. We know that that's where we are, and just by showing up, right? The first place winners, normally we give out things like Apple Watches, AirPods. We thought that was great, right? Well, they leveled the playing field and the Barclays gave the winning team $10,000.
And
$10,000 each,
and
not
on top of that,
$10,000 to split amongst them.
on
And
top of
then
that,
they
my
came.
college, but not to cut you off, but my college, I was the lead for our case study, and so my students got $1,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
Like just on the spot. Like I was just like, and the advisor got 500, so I got new tires on my car. Like that's exactly where I put that coin. So, but yeah, you'd be surprised all of the opportunities that you can get just from participating. But I'm sorry, Miss Hughes, you were saying.
No, and that's basically everything that we're talking about today. Why it's important to engage. It's important that you show up, right? And we'll get into that. But by showing up, even though they wasn't the winning team, right? They got $1,000 for being there and being a part. Had they not taken that opportunity, they would not have gotten that. So being in the room, not only did you get the $1,000, but that company remembers, right? When I was on a call with them last week, they said we love that it was diverse in classification, that it was diverse in major, and that it was diverse, period. So they love that it wasn't just College of Business students. So I'm saying that to implore you to, when there's an opportunity to get involved, Deep Day, make sure that you join us. I would love to see one of you, one of the teams.
All right, so we're gonna go right into it, and so I wanted to introduce our panelists. And I guess I'll start with Rochelle Purnell. So Rochelle, she actually worked with me the whole time that she was here at Dell State. She was extremely active in my Ag Ambassador program, basically led it from a student standpoint. Worked in my office as a student worker. She worked with our Ag Discovery program before she got here. Strong linkage with Sussex Central High School. So she was able to get me, well, I kind of was already in there, but still, she was able to give me a wealth of knowledge about Sussex County when I was recruiting. And so, Rochelle, can you just tell a little bit about your background, how you chose your career, and DSU?
Yeah, so as Dr. Meredith said, my name is Rochelle Purnell. I'm from a really small town in Delaware called Lincoln. I am a 2015 graduate of Delaware State University with a degree in agricultural business. And I chose my degree because of my participation in the Ag Discovery program. So when I was in high school, I participated in the summer residential ag discovery program that was held on campus for about 2 weeks, and was really exposed to a lot of different opportunities that existed in agriculture. So that's what persuaded me to kind of change my mind about becoming a pediatrician and pursuing a degree in ag. And I chose DSU for multiple reasons. As Dr. Meredith said, I met him when he was recruiting at Sussex Central High School. Knew some people that knew him, and so kind of already sought him out as a mentor. But Dell State is also kind of legacy for my family. I have a mother and my aunt both graduated from DSU.
Okay. And then next we have, it is Janaya. Janaya?
It's Jania.
Jania. Okay. And I could have just said Miss King, but I'm trying to get better at that. But Miss Jania King, I know that it's from Baltimore, right?
I'm
Well, I
from
know it's
Maryland.
Maryland. Maryland.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
from.
Okay. I used to just basically call her Smiley because no matter what, if she came in my office with any issue, educational advisement, whatever, she was still smiling all the time, like she is now. So, but she's an environmental science major, was an environmental science major, class of
Yes.
2019, works up at the Port of Wilmington.
Yes.
Correct. Yep. USDA
Mhm.
NRCS. Very hard worker, working on her master's at Temple and with an MBA in an MBA program. And so
Yes.
I'm just gonna let you talk a little bit about your background, why you chose your career in Delaware State University.
Okay, so yes, my name is Jania King. I'm from Maryland, and as he stated, I work for the Department of Agriculture here at the Port of Wilmington in Delaware. Um, Basically, I just became an environmentalist. Probably in middle school, I did a little project, and I learned about dead zones, which is basically areas in the water that don't have any oxygen in it. And so as a little girl, it just like messed my head up. Like, how is there oxygen in the water? I'm so sorry about that. How is there oxygen in the water? And like, if we go in the water, we drown. So then I did the research on that, and it basically made me realize that there's so much about the planet Earth that we live on and we need to survive that we don't know about, and that was just crazy to me. So I just fell in love with environmental science, and I knew at that point I wanted to be an environmental scientist. And the USDA has a wonderful outreach program by the name of the 1890 Land Grant Scholarship. I applied for the scholarship and got a full ride to Delaware State University. I knew I wanted to be close to home, but not too far away. So Delaware was one of the closest 1890 Land Grant Institutes. So I applied to DSU and I had a full ride there. So that's what got me to Delaware State. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. And then next we have Miss Juliana Paul, and she's a current student. I felt that it was important that that there was a peer that could talk about what they've done at Delaware State University while they're here with us. You know, to motivate other students to be encouraged to participate. And so, Miss Juliana Paul, I think you're
Sorry.
either information technology or computer science. But I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about yourself, of course, your background, why you chose your career, as well as DSU.
Yeah, sure. So good morning, everyone. Thanks again, Dr. Meredith, for inviting me here. Yeah, so I am from Philadelphia, and I pretty much I'm studying information technology to confirm that. And my some of my goals are either to pursue a career as a software engineer or a cloud computing architect. I was able to intern with JP Morgan over the summer and work on a really, really fun, interesting project as a software engineer, and was able to secure a full-time return offer. And yeah, that's a bit about just like what I study, what I really enjoy doing. And why I chose DSU, well, first and foremost has to be because I did get a partial scholarship. I got the silver scholarship upon applying for merit and academic assistance, and that worked out well for me. And I just compared it to other schools, the amount of scholarship money I was going to be able to receive, and then I also kind of solidified my decision upon like new student orientation. I had a really great time there meeting the professors within the computer science department. Um, and really just excuse me, and really just other students that have decided to attend DSU as well. And yeah, it's one of the decisions I can't say I would regret. I got a lot of opportunities. I've been able to network and meet with a lot of great people since coming to DSU my freshman year. And yeah, I wouldn't say I would regret would have regretted this decision, and really glad that I chose to go to DSU despite other schools.
Okay. So the next question I have for each of you is, in what specific ways did you engage during your undergraduate experience? Meaning, student organizations, internships, undergraduate research experiences, work study, professional development, and really, how did this motivate you throughout your studies?
Yeah, I can start. So I kind of was like super eager to actually join a lot of orgs freshman year. Um, I think the whole thing for me was just that like I I want to be able to make friends. I want to be able to make the most of my college experience. And I've always seen on movies, TVs, like, joining orgs and being able to partake in different types of events or social events was a pretty big thing in college. So the first thing I was able to participate in was a career track. I found out about this opportunity through career services because that was the first place I decided to go to. And they told me about an opportunity with Handshake, which pretty much where they bring one HBCU student um, from about 40 different HBCUs, and they pay for them to go to Silicon Valley and tour companies like Google, Facebook, Lyft, Tesla. And I jumped on that opportunity like no other. And it was kind of the start for me of why I thought that it was so important to put yourself out there, to engage, to ask for opportunities, to ask for help whenever you really need it. Because I wanted to be exposed to software engineering. I wanted to be exposed to people in tech, and I kind of felt like this was like, I don't know, like a golden opportunity that was sort of granted for me, and it's why I continued on. Even after freshman year, then sophomore year, I ran to become computer science vice president, and I won that position as well. And it's kind of just been a like upward trend from there, and it's been great.
Okay. Well, you didn't mention the White House.
Oh yes, and I also yeah, I was also nominated by our current president, Dr. Tony Allen, to be the 2021 White House Initiative HBCU Scholar. And this is a great opportunity because they recognize me for my academic excellence, my civic engagement, my community involvement. And I also got a chance to attend HBCU week. Each HBCU week that was supposed to be in Washington D.C. this year, but ended up being virtual. We had a live session with Kamala Harris and got to speak with all kinds of professionals. And it was a really great opportunity. Yeah.
Wow. Anybody can top that? It's like, no, Rochelle, Miss
I
King,
can't.
because
I
I'm going to talk
cannot
about
top. Look, I cannot top that at all. But I was very active on campus. It's so crazy because initially I was just like, I just want to go to school and I just want to graduate. Like, I didn't really, I wasn't intrigued by the college experience until I got to college and I got around the right people, the right group of people, and I ended up running for Miss Junior. I ran for Miss Delaware State as well, but I lost. But it was still the experience as a whole. It taught me how to publicly speak. Before, I used to be like so terrified of public speaking just because of my own insecurities. But I I guess until you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you don't know like what you're fully capable of. And that is one thing that DSU like really taught me. I learned so much about myself through engaging at school. I was a peer counselor, so it allowed me to like get to know the student body on a different level, a very intimate level. It helped me learn about myself again. It taught me a lot about just like humans as a whole. And it honestly helps me be a better employee for my supervisor, a better coworker for my coworkers. Like I could be a shoulder, an ear for them to cry on, an ear for to listen to them, as well as the 1890 land grant scholarship provided me with internships every summer, which was wonderful. Like I got to see basically what I do. Like I got to see the official side of it down in DC. Then I got to see the field side. Then I got to see like the AQI side, which is what I do now. And that's how I honestly chose my career path. I did an internship down in Miami at the plant inspection station. And I was like, oh my God, I love doing fumigations. I love phytos. I know what I'm saying is like people are like, what is a fumigation? What is a phyto? But I fell in love with this side of the USDA, which is basically the import and export of fruit and vegetables internationally from from the United States to other countries. And it's just so interesting because you meet so many different people. You see different commodities that like I never heard of, chayote, arugula, like so many different, like it's just always something new every day. And yes, I would have never landed this job without networking. I literally met my supervisor while I was interning in Miami, and I was just talking to one of the supervisors about my aspirations, what I would like to do, where I would like to go. The next day, she set me up on a call with the state plant health director for the state of Delaware. We ended up talking. He was an alum of Delaware State University. So then we just hit it off right off the bat. He took me out to lunch when I came back to Delaware, and I solidified my position here at the Port of Wilmington, and it's just been wonderful ever since. So to all the students on the call, please, please, please go to internships, talk to people, get outside your comfort zone, do things that you would not normally do, because if you're comfortable, then you're not growing. And if you're uncomfortable, then you are growing. So as soon as you feel like a little bit anxious or whatever, just know whatever is on the forefront of that, like what's going to come after that, I promise you it'll be worth it. Because if I just remain in my comfort zone, not publicly speaking, not engaging, not going out, talking to people and things like that, I honestly would not be where I am today. So.
And you really miss opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing. Dr. Meredith, he was talking about checking y'all emails. Y'all have to check y'all emails. Like, I'm literally one of the people that send him emails like, we needed an intern so bad this year. Honestly, we could use an intern right now, like in this moment. And I send these opportunities to him, and literally no one responds. Like, you guys, and it's like a wonderful experience. We're like, a lot of the people in the office, we're young, energetic. We have a lot to give. It's just so much you could learn from coming and just spending a summer or a school year. Like, my supervisor is very flexible and understanding. As I said, he is a DSU alum, so he would love to give back to a fellow Hornet, So, like, it might just start off. I'm sorry.
It might just start off something small. And then I got to transition to Rochelle, but also you just never know who Daryl knows. Daryl's been in for 20, 30 years. So if you're coming in as another major, Daryl's going to know somebody else in another agency that might fit the bill for your major. But he doesn't know because he doesn't know of a Del State student that has approached him. So just be mindful that things happen that are just crazy, that just fall out, and it's just supposed to be in your trajectory of life. But if you're sitting still, you're missing out basically on opportunity. Rochelle, you want to chime in?
Sure. So I just first want to give kudos to Jania and to Juliana, because y'all definitely did what y'all was supposed to do. Y'all understood the assignment when y'all came into undergrad, and I love it. As for me, I did a lot of engaging as well. I was in manners. Like Dr. Meredith said, I was attached to his hip. So I was, his student worker, working in his office day in and day out. I was the president and a member of the ambassador team. I was also an intern with the American Lung Association. I participated in Delawareans Against Nicotine and Tobacco Exposure, which is an organization there on campus still. I was a Thurgood Marshall College Fund intern. I was assigned to USDA APHIS in Riverdale, Maryland. And I also studied abroad. So I studied abroad with Dr. Elavarthi on a fully funded study abroad experience. So I didn't pay a dime for that, except for my visa and my passport. Studied abroad to Ghana, and then because of my engagement at a career fair, met a lady with Global Insight and studied abroad in Costa Rica. And those experiences were absolutely motivational. Like it opens up entirely new worlds to me that I didn't know existed, opportunities that I didn't know were out there. And so you don't know unless you engage. You have to talk to people. You have to get out there. You have to mix and mingle. As much as you might not want to, you have to, because if your goal is to be successful, if your goal should be to get a career, not a job. Let's start there. But if your goal is to obtain a career, then you have to be in front of people. You have to get out there. You have to talk to people, get to know them, get to know what they have to offer, because you never know, that person may end up being your mentor. That's how Dr. Meredith and I kind of connected. Just getting to talk to him and learning more about DSU opened that door for mentorship. And so I just kind of went under his wing and, just kind of followed his knowledge, his experiences, and his wisdom that he had to offer.
So one thing I do want to ask you guys, and they say like this lady, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, because I've always, instead of asking a question of your advice to students that are unmotivated or need that first step, you guys have all already hit the answers to that question. So when I just looked at it, I said, well, let me just revamp it. And so I remember it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I was watching a YouTube clip of this lady that either owned a company, she did own a company, and she was talking about, especially females, things that you have to do to stay ahead. Meaning, at the end of a meeting or during a meeting, you should never be quiet. You should always say something with the word strategic. That research has showed that. And then she also mentioned the 5-second rule. Janaya, well, no, I'm messing it up again. Miss King. My thing is this, she with the 5-second rule, and she's talking about any time in my life that I have been uncomfortable, I learned that I need to be doing this because there's something good on the other end of this. Finishing my, terminal education was one of them. Long story short, she said that you got 5 seconds. When some choice comes in your head, you got 5 seconds to make that leap of yes. So I've noticed that I've been pushing myself, like Miss Hughes this morning. I did not want to get up and ask that question, but I had 5 seconds to make that choice. And I got in my head, I said, get up, like it's now. What would be a word, just one word that you might say to yourself or that you said to yourself in that 5 seconds?
Do it. Do it. Do it.
So
Do it.
what would be
Do it.
another one? And it could be more than one word, but even if it's a mantra, and because my other one is, these people ain't paying my bills. Like when I'm uncomfortable and I got to get ready to do something, the first thing I say is like, they ain't paying my bills. Like, let me do this. Like, let me go on ahead. If I'm worried about what somebody else thinks or says. Any other ones? One words? Miss Hughes, you can say one. I mean, you're highly inspirational. You're off. You're off. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I tell myself, you got this, right? Because it's usually you. It's the conversation that you have with yourself. In those 5 seconds, you're telling yourself all of the reasons why you can't or you won't or you're not qualified.
Mm-hmm.
You got this, right? And then my other one is, who won't stop me?
Mm.
Who won't stop me?
I like that.
And also, when I was applying for jobs after I finished school, I was going through a whole bunch of, but they might not, but should I say this? Should I? And one of my coworkers, Dr. Todd, said, Alex, you let them tell you no. Like, get out of your own way, get out of your head, present your stuff, and if they'll let you know if they can and can't do it. So yeah, let them tell you no. That's another one.
I think the one that I tell myself a lot is, if not now, when? Because if you don't do it now, when else are you going to take that opportunity? That opportunity also may not ever present itself again. So then you're going to sit and filled with regret because you didn't take that opportunity in that moment, and now you don't know what your next step is going to be because you didn't take that leap when you had that opportunity to.
Wow. Okay. Some of you guys, the next question I had, but some of you guys might have answered it or not. If you hadn't, just chime in. But what was your pivotal moment or engagement that made you realize that it was a building block to a successful career? And actually, because it doesn't just start just when you might be engaging in undergrad or high school, but it might be when you actually do get on a job. So, yep.
I think for me, I think I had two. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think I had two. I think I had one that was the moment, but you know how you also have those times where you feel like you need a confirmation to your confirmation. So I had another moment. So I feel like one of my first moments was in the experiences that we just got done talking about, Dr. Meredith, with me attending Agriculture Future of America. And I attended for 3 years straight. But out of, probably like 800 students, there were 3 that looked like me. But I put myself out there to attend that conference year after year, sitting in rooms with people who had years of experience, years of knowledge in agriculture, but I'm sitting at the table having those conversations with them that they don't think that you can have. They don't think that you're coming to the table with the knowledge and the experience that you come in with, and they don't expect it. They don't expect to hear what they're hearing from you as soon as you open your mouth. And so that was a huge moment for me that let me know that I could literally do anything that I wanted to do, that I had what it takes to be a decision maker, to be at the table, to have conversations, uncomfortable conversations or comfortable conversations with individuals. My confirmation moment was the year that I had been accepted to 2 internship programs. So one was with USDA and one was with DuPont. And I had to make a tough decision, but it let me know, I started hearing DJ Khaled's voice in my head from his music video where he's like, sis, you loyal, you smart. And I was telling myself that, like, this is my confirmation. I am loyal. I am smart. I am talented. I have what it takes, to be successful, to be what I want to be. So I would say that those 2 were my highly pivotal moments that were my building blocks for my success that I've had so far.
And just to piggyback on that, because I told you the truth, when I convinced you to go to Virginia Tech, like, your writing superseded mine when you were done. Like, I was like, I got to get back in the writing lab. Like, Purdue, Al, shout out. It's free resource, but your writing got crazy. But yeah, so I mean, those are just some other things, like, because sometimes you might doubt yourself, especially a big school like Virginia Tech, and you had trials and tribulations there, but you were empowered and you knew how to maneuver. So those things are important. Any other ladies? And also Miss Hughes, I'm not leaving you out. Yeah.
I would just like to, I know one thing that I had stated before was the running for Miss Junior. I think that was a very pivotal moment for me because my accent, and I have a list, it's always been like a huge insecurity for me. Like sometimes I just wouldn't want to talk in certain situations because I just did not want to sound uneducated or whatever, like my own security, my own insecurities. So when I spoke, and it sounds so like, to hear myself speak like that, I just couldn't even believe that that was me up on that stage speaking like that. Like, and everyone after was just asking me my name and just talking about how my speech motivated them as well. And I never wanted to be a mentor or anything because I used to feel like I didn't have much to give. But it was that moment that let me know, like, my story, it being different and so on and so forth, is the exact reason why I should be a mentor, is the exact reason why I should be speaking, is the exact reason why I should be doing what I'm doing for people that are just like me. And just like she said, the confirmation was this year. I got to speak at Delaware River 101. It was online. It was on a Zoom call just like this. And I was the only person my age, the only female African American on the call. And I was so nervous, but somehow I channeled that speech from Miss Junior and was able to sound. I had my mother on the call, and she was so proud of me. And to the point where my supervisor, so like the regional director, was on the call, and he called my supervisor like late at, like, after work hours. And my supervisor had gave me a call like at 9 o'clock, like, you know, Clint was so proud of you. You did such a good job. And I, on the inside, was so nervous again because of my own insecurities. But it was that moment, being uncomfortable, making myself vulnerable, and just taking a jab at something that I've been so, you know, fearful of for so long. And now my name ring bells, you know, even higher within the USDA. So, yeah, that was a pivotal moment, putting myself, just being uncomfortable and publicly speaking.
And just to chime in, when you are humble about your name ringing bells, people want to gravitate towards you even more. So that's really important, I should say, because if you do really good work, you'll be sought out no matter what. And usually, if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're going to do really good work. And so I just got to make that comment because I was having, and I'm not trying to steal your shine, Miss King, but I just got tickled because Rochelle knows I fly very low on campus. Like, people, unless I need to be there, I'm not really there, because my previous job, I really was supposed to be off campus. But long story short, something had gotten up to the president, and then she was like, "Your name has wings," and I just busted out laughing because I couldn't believe. I don't know. It just, I guess it's
It
just
feels
encouraging.
surreal.
Yeah, it is. It is surreal. It is surreal, but it also pushes you to continue to do what you do and to do it to the best
Yep.
of your ability. That's really another confirmation, because that's all what it's about. And no matter what, there's always going to be work in life, whether it's your personal life, marriage is work, kids is work, a career is work. It's always going to be work. So just put your best foot forward. Was there any other question? Anybody else that wanted to chime in on that one before I go to our second to last question? All right. So, you guys got the job, or you're highly poised as undergraduates, or the undergraduate, to have a stellar resume to get into a graduate school or to walk into employment after you graduate, Miss Whitehouse. Um, uh, that's a good thing. Like, you worked for it. So uh, once you get there, we just had this conversation, Miss Hughes, about once you're in the door, like, how do you sustain that job? So professional organizations are you making yourself a part of, or networks that you're now building or reaching towards, for you to still leverage those different opportunities to still engage?
I can start. Yeah, so
Okay.
so this is actually an organization I joined, I think last year, and it's called Rewriting the Code. So it's pretty much a nonprofit organization that is pretty much there to help any woman in any STEM career excel, whether that's through providing them with many scholarships for transportation to and from like an internship, or assistance getting housing, etc. And I actually through this program was able to secure a future fellowship, well, be a part of Palantir's future fellowship program this past summer. So on top of my internship with JP Morgan, I was working with students who were currently working with Palantir, and in a sense being like a teaching assistant to the students working at Palantir. It's so interesting because that was a really unique opportunity for me. But why I was so glad that I decided to be a part of this organization is because I was able to meet other women in tech who have the opportunities that I would like to have, and I would gain so much insight. And it was really a beneficial time because not only was I able to assist students and bringing them up in their tech careers, but I was also able to find the assistance I needed for myself. And I definitely see the importance of going out, seeking these types of organizations that align with your goals and your passions, and then just being able to take in as much as you can.
Ms. King?
So,
Like,
I have not.
is there a leg of USDA that's geared towards like a minority special interest group, or?
Yes, and that's honestly why I'm back in school right now, because I would love to join the outreach sector of the USDA, because it's just it gave so much to me. So I would like to pay that forward to the next person. But I did just felt like we're feeling like, majoring in environmental science. It was so, narrow. That's why I'm going back to school for my MBA, so I can have a more broad understanding, because I know I'll have to secure funding and so on. So just to make myself a little bit more well-rounded. But the outreach department for USDA, for any students on the call, you can literally just do USDA outreach, and there's an outreach page. There are so many opportunities for different minority groups. If you guys just want to go and take a stab and see if you're eligible for anything, it's a wonderful program. They, cater to you from start to finish. And honestly, like I said, that's why I am where I am today. I had a debt-free college experience, and I just would really love to pay that forward. I love to give back and mentor. If there's anyone on the call that would like to, chat with me afterwards, I love giving back. I love giving back because it is the people who poured into me throughout the internships, throughout DSU, and so on, that helped me, gain the confidence and take, the chances and engage how I did throughout my experience. And that's why I am where I am today. And I wish it was more people who, took the time to pay it forward to the next. So.
Dr. Purnell?
Future Dr. Purnell. I think for me, on the flip side of everything, I grew a love for writing while I was in grad school, right? So I try to stay connected to a lot of the educational and scholarly research journals, just kind of trying to see what's going on in the world of educational research and agricultural research, and things of that nature. Definitely stay connected with the cohort of students that I matriculated through graduate school with, because you never know who is where now. And so those connections are still very much so long lasting, in terms of just jobs or motivation, whatever it is that you need from those individuals. As a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, that also has its personal and professional benefits to it as well. Staying connected with mentors, because there's always something new happening there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I also try to stay connected with the alumni group. So I can't stress the importance enough of staying connected with Delaware State alumni, if there's an alumni association anywhere after you graduate. And I also stay connected with the Black alumni of Virginia Tech.
And so one other little nugget that I'd like to give you guys, because you can do it right now. About 10 years ago, somebody had said to me when I was starting off in my career, make sure that you're making yourself knowledgeable about, best practices. And so they said one easy way to do that is organizations that you come across, you can always sign up for their newsletters. So for my industry, it's higheredjobs.com. And so they're always doing articles on literature of present day issues and solving these types of problems. And they always filter through my email. And so, right, I know NRCS, that USDA NRCS bulletin that I send out to all natural resource students happened because I was connected with that newsletter. And so sometimes you're like, I don't want too much mail, but then there's sometimes you're like, I've been getting this forever and I've never used it. But it's more about the titles and the headlines that pop up, because there'll be times where I'll just tab on it and I'll look to the right and they're doing articles and talking about solving my problems on the job. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that when you come across organizations and things of that nature, to sign up for those newsletters, so that they actually come to your email. And then last, any final advice for future Hornets?
It would just be to stay humble, stay connected, seek mentorship, and make sure you ask questions.
Yeah, I can go next. So, I would say for me, I mean, something that kind of I think helped me sort of like shift my life greatly was just in a sense like creating a sense of like urgency in my life. Like I heard this saying, like if you tell yourself it's gonna take 30 days to clean your room, it's gonna take you 30 days. But if you tell yourself it's gonna take 2 hours, then you're gonna do it in 2 hours. So definitely create a sense of urgency in your life, set goals, set milestones that you want to complete, and yeah, just keep growing. Not really don't allow yourself to get stagnant and to just sort of like give up too easily. So that would be my final advice.
One tidbit that I would just say is make sure you have, I would say, like at least 2 to 3, emails. One email that's your personal, when you want to sign up for Fashion Nova or whatever the case may be, have that email be that email. Then you have to have the professional email. That email's notification should come, that the notifications come to your screen, like, because when, just like Dr. Meredith was saying, when you have those newsletters or whatever the case may be, those notifications, let that be on your screen and swipe it away so that you're not missing any opportunity, because you don't understand, when you switch into adulthood, your email will be your new text message. I check my email so much. So please have your professional email account, have the notifications come to your phone. Don't have to check, like, let it come to your phone like your text message, because no opportunity is going to come to your text message like it will come to your email. So have your emails on your phone. Like, that's the largest tidbit I would have.
And last, I'm just gonna Miss Hughes, because I'm not gonna tell y'all all of her, secrets and talents and gifts. I'll let her do her, and but she got a lot going on, so good stuff. But Miss Hughes, because you're extremely accomplished, so what would be your final advice?
I love what Ms. King said in regards to making sure, because we're on our phones. But when you want to stay engaged, make sure that you know what your networking goals are, right? Because when you need to know whether or not you're in a space where you want to network to build a networking circle, right? Because we should have a circle of people that not just to get me a job or an opportunity, but these are people that are in our circle, in our sphere that will help me be a better professional, that will help me be a better person. So when you know why you want to network, right? Ultimately, as a college student, you want to obtain a career. But knowing and understanding your goals behind networking, because they look different in different seasons. As a freshman, it could just be to get exposure and to learn the companies, right? As a sophomore and as a junior, it's to get experience. And as a senior, it is an opportunity to get a sponsor, right? And there's a difference between a mentor and a sponsor, and you should know that. A mentor is somebody who's going to help bring you up and help you go through the ranks. But a sponsor is the person that's in a room when you're not. And they're the person that's saying that Dr. Meredith is the one. I talk to him on a regular basis and he does this, that Miss King can do X, Y, and Z. I remember. So they can get into spaces that you can't. But knowing and understanding that networking is not just transacting, right? Don't look at it and what they can do for you, but forge a relationship and forge a relationship early. So those are the pieces of advice that I would give is one, know why you're networking, have goals, and then begin to do the networking based on the goal. So if you're saying that I want to go to D-Day and my goal is to meet 3 companies, not just get their cards, right? But introduce yourself, right? What is the goal of taking their card? Because if you take it and just put it to the side, that's not a goal. It's to meet 3 companies and then forge a relationship. You don't need 12, right? You don't need 25 just to say that you have them, but focusing on what that looks like for you and then cultivating those relationships so that you can get sponsors, right? You don't get sponsors by just asking somebody to be a sponsor. It's because they've taken time with you over the years. They've seen you grow. They've watched you. They've done all of those things. So you can begin doing that now. And one of the things that you can do that, I remember when I was an undergrad, I didn't go to Del State, but I am an HBCU alum. One of the things that my professor told me, and she was a history professor, and it stuck with me, and it's what I tell my students all the time. I practice it. She said it was in the syllabus that you have to come to my office 2 times while you're taking my class, and you cannot ask me anything about class. What, lady? What do I need to talk to you about, right? Other than class. But what she said was, when it's time for you to get a recommendation or a reference, if I only know you as a student on paper, the only thing I can write is that you got whatever grade in my class. But when you come to me and you don't have an agenda and you're just coming to say hello, which is the natural way to talk and build a relationship, I get to learn about you. So you're going to need me as a reference at some point. But in order for me to be that, I got to know you. And because our class was an elective and it was easy, most people didn't pay, right? So you want to go to those people. Yes, you want people in your that to say, introduce yourself to faculty and staff across campus, so that they will know who you are and not just I'm a this major. Like tell them a little bit about you. So when opportunities come across their desk, they'll think of you because you took time to introduce yourself outside of what do I need for class and those things. But they are the ones that will ultimately become your sponsors. So you got to identify them. They may not always be in your major.
And just a wrap up. Yeah, Ms. King.
I just wanted to say, just to piggyback off that, and just like she said, it's a two-way street and be genuine. Like I feel like sometimes it's just like everybody wants to be self-serving, but the relationship will be so much better if it's a two-way street. If you give just as much as you're taking away, you call your mentor sometimes. Your mentor shouldn't always have to call you and reach out to you. Just make it like, have it be a genuine bond. When it's a genuine bond, I feel like it's so much better serving for both sides. That's all I wanted to say.
And my last tip, as far as my advice for any Hornet, is, you're only going to rise as high as who's around you, right? And so I'm just going to use me as an example, which I always do because it's easiest. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, I was working on schooling. And I was always going out with some of my friends on the weekend, and we'd be at the club having a good time. And then something just came over me one day, and we were all chilling outside, and I wanted to test them. I wanted to, you know, you shouldn't also have just friends that are just like you. You should have friends at all kinds of levels. I mean, some that you should have friends at all kinds of levels because you just never know what you might need. So I'm keeping it real. Um, and so I just said right out loud, I said, y'all got goals? And every last one of them said no with an excuse. And I think there might be one that's still around me now because I had to really focus and look at myself and say, you're the only one in this group that has to write right now. You're the only one in this group that has to still work a 40-hour job. You're the only one that still has to commute an hour to work. Like, I don't think that this is who you should really be around because it's just going out. So please be mindful that you definitely, in addition to strong networks, you have to be around like-minded people. All right. So right now, I'm just gonna flash up the. First, I'd like to say thank you guys for coming. We are having one more alumni take, and that is centered around uh, the difficulties of transitioning from college to graduate school and/or employment. And that's gonna come. I can't remember the month because they're going so fast. I think it's in the month of October. I think it's October 19th. But all this stuff always comes in your email. And so it'll be another really good time to, you know, get to engage with alumni. But here's the code just in case some of you guys might have come a little bit afterwards. That's going to be the code to do the survey that'll open at 12 o'clock and it will close at 12:20. So there you're able to put in your attendance. You're able to be counted to have your name put in the $10 drawing for a Wawa card. We're not doing as big as 25 right now, but give me some time. There'll be some other opportunities. And so, like I said, again, alumni, thank you so much for coming through for me. And I really hope that you enjoyed yourself. Students, we have like a mentorship program that we're developing that should come around in the spring. So there will be a piece with alumni that you are able to connect with. Also, the College of Business currently has a mentorship program. They're helping us develop ours. So just never be afraid to get that kind of information and to, like I said, put yourself out there. But until the next time, until the next professional development, which will be on communication, you guys stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you guys
You're
for coming
welcome.
out.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Anytime, anytime.
A good one.
How do I get out of here?